Okay, so round two of playoffs has ended, and there were a good amount of upsets in the second round today um, that went against a lot of my predictions. So let's go over that. So for the first game, which was ITB and Bleed, I had ITB winning this game because ITB beat SSG and SSG 2-0'd Bleed twice, but Siege is weird, and Bleed end up beating ITB 7-5. Um, in the second game, again, I predicted M80. I just thought they would just be the better team than Bliss and probably just out talent them, but it was clear that Bliss are not a team to sleep on anymore, and they are showing out at this major. And they came out and beat M80 on Bank today, 7-5 after some very good attacking rounds in the second half. The third game of the day was probably the easiest prediction of the day, which I did get correct, which is Furia beating Scars. I don't think anybody's really surprised at that. The fourth game, I did have Dark Zero winning this game, but Secret ended up pulling it out. DZ kind of trolled too many rounds on this game, and even though NGR literally 1v5'd a round for Dark Zero, it did not matter in the end, and Secret still ended up coming out on top 7-5. And Secret have also looked really hot to start the major after beating FaZe and Dark Zero, who are both teams that many people have in mind to make the top 8 and possibly even go all the way. Um, so for in the lower bracket, we had Beast Coast and KAG. This I did predict Beast Coast to win this game, and they did. This again was probably one of the easier predictions of the day. KAG have not looked very good ever since they made it out of groups, and Beast Coast, even though they lost to Dark Zero, I still think they're a much better team than KAG, and that is correct. So for the next match in the lower bracket, we had FaZe versus Liquid. These games are always close between these teams, no matter how bad one of them is doing. It feels like, and I feel like if Liquid didn't suck so bad at attacking, and Lagonis like could actually kill people, that they could actually beat FaZe, but Liquid, it wasn't enough. Even with having Lagonis going 0-10, Liquid were still able to go to max regulation against FaZe. Um, but it just wasn't enough. They needed something out of Lagonis, and they pretty much got nothing. Liquid's attacks continue to be horrible, and I don't know what they can do about it right now because I don't see it trending up anytime soon. And now for BDS and SSG, this was another pretty tight game, but BDS were just better at Oregon today. BDS were able to win way too many basement attacks on Oregon. SSG let let it slip, the game slip out of their hands there, even though they had defense second half after a 3-3 split. And then the last match of the day was just kind of like the battle of a shit team and a team that is just still figuring things out. So, which makes them bad. So, but this one was pretty funny that E1 lost to PSG Talon, because PSG Talon is a team that basically, again, as when Fabian joined, they literally had 0 strats written down, and they were able to come out on top versus E1. So E1 have looked really bad this tournament, and they are certainly on fraud watch. PSG Talon, I don't think anybody really cares what PSG Talon do. This whole tournament is just kind of a learning experience for them. And if they end up winning, they end up winning basically. And if they end up losing, it's like, yep, they're from Korea. It's a Korean team, and yeah, like I said in the last video, this team just still needs more time um, against good teams. So now on to predictions for round three. There's a lot of difficult games here to predict, I think. Pretty much all of them are, except for a few. So for Secret and Bliss, I feel like the both these teams have been hot, but neither of these teams have ever played each other. So I just feel like, Secret, they beat FaZe and Dark Zero, who in my mind are better teams than E1 and M80. Not that these are, well, E1 are pretty bad, but M80 are definitely no slouches, and Bliss were able to handle them. But I feel like in a best of three, I don't know, because Bliss have been a team for quite some time. Well, this is Secret's first major. Hmm. I feel like I'm gonna take the upset in this one, and we're gonna go with Bliss going 3-0. Even though this could definitely go either way. Like I feel like I trust Bliss map pool a little more since they've been together as a team for over a year now. While this is Secret's first major as a team with this current roster. So I feel like Bliss are just, and Bliss like know the meta. They have strats. Bliss are actually good. I'd very much underestimated them again. Even though they placed top 8 at SI, it's like they're top 8 at SI, yeah. They played like Wolves, who are mid, and like a bunch of APAC teams basically to make top 8, who are worse than them. But top 8 is top 8, so you gotta give them that. But all they beat was Wolves, which was their one good win, really, at SIs. But they definitely look like they have gotten even better since then. So I'm actually gonna take Bliss for the upset on this one. It'd be really cool to see Bliss go 3-0 in the Swiss stage and make the finals, and make the main stage. That'd be really cool. And then for the next game, again, these teams have actually played each other before, so actually go to Furia, go to their head-to-head. And actually, it'll be W7M, not Furia. W7M and Bleed, and this will be at S tier events. And yeah, they played each other at SI, where they were able to beat Bleed. But I would say Bleed gave him a good fight. It wasn't, the last map wasn't so close, though. Border is a map that really helps that aggressive Brazilian playstyle, which I feel like Bleed shouldn't have let through. But in the one time they played, the Furia have won, and it was pretty recent. And even though Bleed their first game they played PSG Talent, it's like, PSG Talent, but their second game was a good win against ITB. I really didn't think they'd beat ITB after ITB beat Space Station, and Space Station had 2-0'd Bleed twice already in this tournament. So Bleed is definitely, again, it's not a team to sleep on, but I just do feel like I can trust the Furia guys to close us out and then go 3-0. But again, kind of like the Secret game, and don't be surprised if Bleed give Furia a run for their money or even come out on top of this game, because they definitely could. Now, for Dark Zero versus Scars in the 1-1 games, which are BO1s, Dark Zero should be winning this game unless we get a all-time troll comedian performance. This should be a Dark Zero game without a doubt. Though two players to look out for are definitely Nina and Rek. They can definitely pop off, but Dark Zero should be the better team here. Again, in the best of one, this is probably going to be a tighter game, but I feel like FaZe Clan should be beating Beast Coast. FaZe have been a team for way longer, even though these teams have never played. It can be weird though. This is, again, kind of like where they played Secret. I feel like this is map dependent. If FaZe end up going to a map that they think they're good on, but Beast Coast ends up being better than FaZe on, the Beast Coast would definitely take this game, but FaZe should be winning this game, so I'll be taking FaZe. BDS versus Talent, I mean, it's Shaiko versus a bunch of up-and-coming Korean players who are basically relearning how to play competitive Siege from the ground up. So we're taking BDS. Sorry, Talon and Fabian, but BDS are just better currently. And now for Into the Breach and M80, this will be an interesting game as the best one too. I feel like this will be another game where it'll be like map dependent. If it goes to a good map for ITB will win this, and if it goes to a good map for M80 will win this. But one thing I gotta say is Kino's got to play better. Him on Monty today was horrible. Some of the it was bad. That was some of the worst Monty play I've ever seen. He's like cursed on specifically on Bank playing Monty as well on those server stairs. He just can't. It just never works out for him. So I feel like I kind of want to go with the. You could call it an upset here, but I mean ITB have been playing pretty good so far this tournament. They're both 1-1, and M80 have been all right, and ITB have been all right this tournament. Neither of them have been like horrible. Neither of them have shown like amazing things either. But I feel like I'm gonna take ITB for this. They look a little more stable as a team than M80 have so far. Ooh, this will be an interesting one. This is like the battle for. This is the battle of like ass here. Who would win this though? Neither of these teams have ever played each other. Logic would say that Brazilian playstyle would beat out CAG, but after watching both these teams play, it's like they're both not good. But this like, I don't. This could definitely go like 3 maps. You know, I kind of want to take possibly an upset here and take CAG to win in like 3 maps for this one. I feel like E1 might struggle with how CAG play because they play very weird. Now, for Space Station versus Liquid, this will probably be another barn burner of a best of 3. But I feel like Space Station should come out on top of this because they are a more consistent attacking team than Liquid. And Liquid's attacks are just horrible. So Space Station should be able to take this one. And sadly, Liquid be eliminated. I don't. And Liquid just got a rough bracket. They play M80, FaZe, and then SSG. That is, I mean, Liquid could definitely win this game because I mean, SSG aren't as good as FaZe, but this is probably going to be map dependent. Who gets what maps they want right here, and we'll kind of see how it goes. But I feel like I trust Space Station more on those attacks. They have better ideas on their attacks. Liquid like don't have ideas for attacks at all. I don't know what Lagonis does, but he is not cooking on those attacks as of recently. So we're gonna take SSG to win that. Now for Secret and ITB, this could go either way because these teams play each other all the time in the European League, and Secret was the 2nd seeded team in the regular stage, and ITB was a 3rd seeded team in the regular stage, I think, and with like the same amount of points, I think. And this could really go either way. I feel like these teams are very even with each other right now. I could possibly be wrong, but I do feel like they're pretty even with each other. But I think I'm gonna go with Secret on this one because I really like what I've seen from Secret so far by beating FaZe and Dark Zero. So, okay, Bleed versus FaZe. Last time these two played each other, FaZe picked Bleed apart in Atlanta, and I don't see that really changing that much. This definitely could be an upset because Bleed definitely aren't shit by any means, but FaZe should be winning this game. It's FaZe. Dark Zero versus BDS in a best of 3. This should be a banger. But who wins a best of 3 against BDS and Dark Zero? I feel like BDS should win this game. Especially if Canadian is struggling again, like he was today. But both these teams probably have good map pools. But I feel like BDS should be able to take advantage of Dark Zero, especially if Canadian is not playing very well. Um, so I feel like I'm going to take BDS to win that in 3 maps. SSG versus Scars. Now, the last time these teams played, Scars did win in Copenhagen, actually, to qualify for the main stage. But I feel like SSG are like do really well under the pressure, and in these elimination games, and we've seen them do it before where they came back and made main stage, and I feel like they can continue to do. I feel like SSG can continue to do well under pressure against Scars. I feel like Scars could definitely win a map here, but SSG should win that game. Beast Coast versus PSG. Again, PSG just not ready yet. Beast Coast should be winning this game. And again, M80 versus KAG. M80 should be able to handle KAG without too many problems. They should be way better than KAG. They get paid M80 get paid way too much to lose to KAG. So okay, now for the last day, if all these are correct, which will probably not happen, but for now, I definitely gonna take SSG to beat Bleed again because they like rolled them over in phase 1, even though Bleed did take a map off them, but SSG demolished them on the second 2 maps, 7-0ing them twice. So I don't see why SSG just can't crush them again. IT Brew versus Beast Coast. This will be a good game as well. I mean, these are all bangers actually. If this is what happens on the last day, I feel like this will be another tight game that goes 3 maps. And right now, from what I've seen, I definitely feel like ITB have been playing a little better than Beast Coast, so I'm going to go with ITB. Again, I feel like all these BO3s are very map dependent, so again, Beast Coast could definitely all these teams, the teams that I'm not picking could definitely win these games as well. These are all like very tight matchups here. And for the last game, which in theory would be Dark Zero and M80 in a best of 3, I definitely feel like Dark Zero should be able to beat M80. They're usually always good at beating M80, I believe. Though let's look at their head-to-head to make sure. Dark Zero and then A tier and S tier. Okay, so actually in the most recent stage, M80 did beat Dark Zero, and the old M80 team was pretty good at beating Dark Zero last year, except for in the Atlanta Major playoffs where this M80 team was in they're just the M80. This old M80 team is in shambles at LAN, and the current one hasn't looked. They've been better for sure, but they haven't impressed me yet. They haven't done anything like, whoa, now this is a team that I think is gonna win it all. But these teams do match up pretty well against each other, and the last time they played only in a best of 1, M80 did win, but that's only a best of 1. I feel like in a best of 3, Dark Zero are gonna have a deeper map pool, and they will be able to beat out M80 2-1 maps. So that is all for predictions. These are the ones, of course, that I made pre start of playoffs. So of course most of them are in shambles, except for hopefully Furia can win tomorrow and at least get this one correct. But it's looking a little rough, except for I think I'll be able to get. I think BDS will probably go 3-1 as well, but I don't know. I don't know. Dark Zero and SSG are always like teams that always like to give you a really hard watch. They always like to barely win. So I feel like they can. SSG and Dark Zero could definitely both qualify still, but I don't know if it'll be in if they'll. Well, SSG can't go 3-1. They'd have to go 3-2 from being down 0-2, which could happen. They've done it before, but yeah, I don't know if Dark Zero could go 3-1, especially if and probably when they beat Scars and will likely play BDS because BDS will definitely beat PSG Talon. So I feel like BDS should be able to beat Dark Zero, and Dark Zero will have to win. Will be go 2-2 and go through here. M80 could definitely fall out of the top eight. I really wanted to believe in them, be on the M80 Copium. Um, Even though like they didn't really they haven't shown anything internationally as a team, of course, before this event to prove that they would be good internationally. But I mean, again, the players on M80 get paid way too much to be shit. So they they it'd be another big disappointment if they didn't make it at least into the top eight. And they definitely could. This matchup could go either way, but again, I just feel like I trust DZ more here. So I would be sad to see Bleed go though. They're really fun to watch. Um, so I would like them to make top eight, and it would also be really cool to see Bliss make top eight. But but if they don't, oh well. But it'd be rough because I think they'd be really fun teams to watch on stage. And again, SG they have that clutch factor when they're on the brink of elimination. So I feel like if there's any team that can come back from down 0-2, it's SSG. And then Beast Coast, the two games they played Dark Zero and a regional matchup and lost. That's like kind of a whatever loss. These teams could beat each other any other day on a best of one, depending on the map, probably. And then Beast Coast handled business playing Scars later today, earlier today. So one loss and one win for Beast Coast. The one win they have is against a pretty weak team, in my opinion. But I definitely feel that Beast Coast will probably go either 2-1 or 2-2, and they'll either win that last. They'll either qualify. They'll probably go 2-2. I think that's probably my best bet for Beast Coast. They'll go 2-2, and they'll probably have a close game to qualify, and they'll either make it or not. But right now, from what I've seen, I do feel like ITB are definitely just a little better. So yeah, that is all for my predictions for round 3 of the playoffs, and how if round 3 shapes up how I predicted, how I think round 4 and 5 will go. So again, when the round 3 games are done tomorrow, I will again update my predictions again, just for fun. So and also again, do not forget to follow the socials as I try to engage, especially on Twitter with the Siege esports community, even though I haven't really got that much engagement yet, but I hope so. So yeah, have a good one, and hopefully we get some fun games tomorrow. It's gonna be a long day tomorrow. 4 best of 3s and 4 best of 1s. So